Yes, yes, yes. How are we doing? So, in this session, we are going to cover focus management. So, I work with a lot of busy people where time is very, very precious, and a lot of people are wasting a lot of that time. So, I'm going to go through how I run my systems, my structure, my strategy for focus management. Now, for me, focus management is absolutely key, is clinical in terms of making sure that I can switch off in the evening. Now, I can switch off in the evening and be really, really present if I know that everything is in hand within my business. It's just the way that I run. Okay. And I have to understand that I can't achieve a year's worth of success in 1 week. So we have to be really, really clear on what's happening and when and what the priorities are. So I have tried this in a number of ways. Now, I am old fashioned, old school, and I actually showed a picture of this on my Instagram stories. And with my diary, I actually write with pen and paper. So with my diary, I put my time blocks in there, but I don't use it as my headquarters, if you like. I use a system called Trello, which is what we are going to get into. Cool. All right. So this is my page. I use this for me and my team. And this is super important to me. This is where my HQ is of my brain. This is my this is my professional brain on a system. Okay. Now, I don't necessarily operate from this all of the time. This is where I get my clarity, and then I transfer this and just put it into my diary. It might not make sense for a lot of people, but for me, it really does. And it just works for me. So the first thing I just want to bring you to are the brain dumps. Now, the brain dumps are the things that are so, so important. Now, I've got this app, which is called Trello on my phone. And what I will often do is when I get an idea, when I think of something that needs doing, I will just quickly whip my phone out here and then go straight to the Trello app and write down that thing that's on my mind so I don't forget it. If you're like me and you have 100 million thoughts a day and you're trying to make sure you don't forget those things that need doing, they just kind of pop into your head. This is where I put that brain dump. It's kind of messy. They're in no particular order. I understand what they mean to me, and that is all that matters. All right. So I've broken it down into a work brain dump and then my sort of personal brain dump. So I've got two different categories here. And at the end of each day, I will go through those things and think to myself, right, what is becoming a priority? What can wait a few weeks? What needs doing next week? What needs doing at the end of this week? So last week, this is what I did. So I kind of created key things that needed doing for this week. So today it is Tuesday, the 22nd of April. And these were all of the things that were stand out. Now, the things that you can kind of see in red here are my priorities. Now, if you look at how much needs doing here, and there's probably more that's not even on here, right? I've only highlighted a couple of key things. Now, the power offer here for the RTM 90, that's a project that we're getting ready for, which starts next week, which is our ready for our launch on the 12th of May for our next Remember the Mission 90 days. So a lot of the work that I'm doing today has been happening for the last 2 weeks, which is on the natural build up that will take me to our early bird at the beginning of May and then mid-May. So I'm thinking way ahead. I'm strategically thinking about things way before they happen. So I have a calendar of all of our launches and all of our promotions right through to the very end of the year. And that will just naturally trigger me falling into the different launches and promotions. And that's what I need to think about. And that's where I put all of this stuff in my head. And as you can see, me even just talking about work, it's making sure that all of the pieces are aligned. And if I don't have that clarity, I'll be sitting on that sofa behind me and my wife would be trying to talk to me. And I'll be thinking, oh my God, what's coming up? Where is my mind at? What have I got to sort out? Whereas this allows me just to brain dump it all in there. Okay, so there's my power offer. We're going to get that ready for next Thursday when we launch, right? It's pretty much done anyway. Sending off my driving license. I've got to get that renewed. It's really, really important because we're going to Canada in 3-4 months and I need to make sure that's covered. And then we're naturally launching a masterclass that I'm running, which is from chaos to clarity next week. So that's an ongoing thing every single day. I've got the YouTube video on focus, which is what I'm doing now. I've got to show one of my team members about scheduling emails, got to get a work-life balance pack for our focus group for our members in May. And then we've got some other bits and pieces that's happening here. Okay, so sorry, this is to prepare for the early bird, and this is for the ads side of things. And then this is just something that I need to do in terms of marketing and advertising. So then when I do my day, I kind of put them into these time frames. Okay, so from 9 till 10, it's about client check-ins. That's when I'm going to get back to people on our school platform, okay, which is in here. And this is where I start getting back to people. And this morning, I was coaching people in here. So people are putting their updates for me in here, and this is just me kind of getting back to them. Okay. I then worked on the power offer for the Remember Mission 90, and that's the stuff that I was doing in here. So if you come in here, this is where I'm communicating with people and working on that task there. Okay. The YouTube video here is what we're doing now. This took me much longer than I planned in terms of this is a brand new setup. And then I've got some operational work to do later on, right? And the launch and the masterclass is just evergreen. So in here, I can see everything that's happening, right? So I will just transfer this by hand into my diary. Now, this is probably the bit that not a lot of people might get. But although it's here for me and it's on my phone, I sometimes feel I need to just write it down so I connect with it more. So I understand what's going on. And what I will do is when I finish things, I will just bring them into my done list. So I have done that. I have done that. This is being done, and then that's going to be done later. I've already done my launch for the masterclass today. So you can then see, right, my day is looking well in control. It's 1 o'clock right now. I've got to leave here in 2.5 hours for the nursery run. I'm going to get all of those things done that I need to do. And then at the very end of the day, what I'm going to do is kind of look at my weekly plan here. If there's any of these things that have been done, I'm just going to put them into my done list. Boom, they keep getting done. And the done list I clear out every Sunday evening. I then go through my brain dump and I start thinking, is there anything that I need to add in here? Is there anything that needs a priority? So for example, we're going to be running a 5-day soon, but if I needed to prioritize it, I would just come in here and I would just make sure I label it that I know it needs a priority. So suddenly this is standout and I'm like, okay, this is going to be in my next week's plans. And I need to start communicating with my ads team, my sales team, with other people in my team about this is coming up. All right. So again, this is complete clarity. This doesn't take a lot of time, this system. Okay. It doesn't take a lot of time. You brain dump when you need to. When you do your weekly planning, I will do that in another video on the process of doing your weekly plans, but you get clear on your priorities and what needs doing. You then can have your day-by-day task sheet. So at the end of today, I will delete all of that. I will change the date. I will look at everything that needs doing. I will look at my responsibilities tomorrow. And I'll go, right, these are my time blocks. So in each one of these little squares represents my time blocks and with the timings. And at the minute, I'm vlogging this. And it'll be interesting to see what the vlog looks like versus this actual process right here. Okay, and making sure that they're aligned. And I'm doing the vlog to hold myself accountable for my focus. This is like working towards a top 1% strategy, structure, and system to control your time, your energy, and focus. And then you just build this into your structure, your routines, and it becomes your system. And if you do it consistently, you build up that skill set. You build up the focus of being more focused. You get into the habit. It becomes a non-negotiable. Again, it's just setting the timings for when you're going to do this. And the whole point is to kind of look at some of the things you're doing and challenge yourself in terms of going, do I need to be doing this? Is this something I should be delegating? Is this something I should be doing? Is this a £10 an hour job? Is this a £50 an hour job? Or is this a £500 an hour job? But, you know, when we are mastering our time, especially within work, everything for us as a leader or a business owner should be very much looking at the £500 an hour jobs, okay? The things that move your role or your company forwards. And this is what this will identify over a 90-day period, right? So you can use Trello, you can use a notebook, you can use reminders on your phone. You can even go to reminders and you can set one of your reminders as something as your brain dump for work, another reminder as your brain dump for your personal. You can then start putting out your weekly plans. A lot of the stuff that we do here is through our mission builder. So we have kind of like day-to-day focus and review. So morning review, evening review. We have the weekly planning and the self-leadership audit. And it kind of all interlocks. And you kind of find what works for you. There is no right or wrong. There is like, this is not the right way or the wrong way. It's just the way that works for me. But what we're trying to do is get people into the habit of making sure that they have a system that manages their time, their energy and focus. Because what we want to ultimately achieve is clarity and control, and consistency follows that. And this is a system to bring you clarity and control with your time, your energy and focus. All right, makes sense. And if you are somebody that is looking to regain control, looking to master the way that you operate to reach more of your potential, then we are running our Remember the Mission 90-day program. Our next one starts on the 12th of May, depending on when you watch this. If you click on the link that's in the description, it will always have the updated date for when we start. Okay, so you can know when the next one is. You can go and see what we do. You can go and see how we take men from a state of chaos to a state of control over a 90-day period. Okay, let me know what you think of the video in the comments. It'd be great to hear your feedback and get an idea. If there's anything that you particularly struggle with, then we can cover that in one of these sessions.